In this video, we are going to study about the permanent or mature tissue. As we know that cell is the structural and functional unit of all living organism. Group of cells is known as tissues, and the tissues may be permanent tissues or meristematic tissues. Meristematic tissues are those tissues which have the power of division, and permanent tissues are those tissues which have either stopped the power of division permanently or temporarily. Such tissue is known as permanent or mature tissues. So cells derived from meristem gradually change in their structure, metabolism, and chemistry and acquire specialized character by their various modes of differentiation. So not all the cells totally different from the meristem. Some cells retain the power of division and other cannot divide. In a strict sense only, those cells which have lost the power of division permanently or temporarily must be recorded as permanent tissues. But in a broad sense, cells derived from meristem that have acquired a special function, like we can say that those tissues which perform the function of photosynthesis, which perform the function of secretion and storage, are treated as part of mature tissues. They may be either thin or thick wall, either may be living or dead. And there are two types of permanent tissues, simple and complex. Simple tissues. Simple tissues are those tissues which are made of only one type of cells, and there are three types of simple tissues: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. In complex tissues are those type of tissue which is composed of more than one type of cells, and their example is xylem and phloem. So simple tissues is parenchyma, which is further divided into parenchyma and chlorenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma, fibers and sclerites. Parenchyma. It is found in every part of the plant body, like fifth and cortex of stem and roots, mesophila of leaves, flesh of fruits, floral parts, and even xylem and phloem. And can be defined. Parenchyma is derived from two Greek words, para mean beside and chyma mean in forward. So parenchyma are those living cells in which their cell wall is thin. Such type of cell is known as parenchymatic cells. The parenchyma cell shape are either oval, rounded, or polygonal in a shape, and they contain sufficient amount in cytoplasm in them. Usually, each cell possesses one or more nuclei, either they may be mononucleated or multinucleated. Generally, cells of parenchyma are involved in storage of starch, sucrose, protein, water, and phenol derivatives. They also perform the function of turgidity. When they absorb water, they become turgid. So it performs the function of turgidity within the plant. These are the types of parenchyma, erenchyma, as the name indicates that these are those parenchymatic cells in which large air spaces is present, or we can say that intercellular spaces filled with air are large in size and many in number, in such tissues are called erenchyma. Parenchyma in aquatic plants get modified and the cortex cell possesses well-developed air spaces. For example, in Marsilia quadrifolia, Lemna species, as well as in Ecornia, the parenchyma is present much abundantly. Or we can say that parenchyma is mostly abundantly present in aquatic plants. So in these plants, air spaces are common, helping in aeration and buoyancy. Buoyancy means they are used for balancing. So air spaces are also seen in roots of grasses, petioles of quina, and petiole of musa, which is known as banana. Stellar kinds of parenchyma is observed. Now we will go to explain the parenchyma diagrammatically. So you can see that these plants are hydrophytes. Within the hydrophytes, they store the air within the special type of parenchymatic cells, which is known as erenchyma. These are Marsilia quadrifolia, in which the petiole composed of a large number of air spaces. You can see within the diagram that a large number of air spaces present for the storage of air. And this parenchyma is also used by the hydrophyte as a balancing. These are the banana plants in which the parenchyma is present in abundant amount. Then what is chlorenchyma? These are also a type of parenchymatic tissue in which a large number of chloroplasts is present and it performs the function of photosynthesis, that they prepare their own food in the presence of sunlight and enzyme. Such type of parenchymatic living cells is known as chlorenchyma. And chlorenchyma is again divided into two types, and they are present mostly in green parts, especially in the leaves. Palisade cells and spongy cells. Palisade cells are elongated cells and spongy cells are rounded cells. Within the spongy cells, intercellular species is present, while in palisade cells, no intercellular species is present, or we can say less amount of intercellular species is present. So, chlorenchyma perform the function of photosynthesis. The second most important type is known as collenchyma. The collenchyma word is derived from two Greek words colla mean glue and enchyma mean infusion. So these are those type of simple tissues in which unevenly thickened cell wall is present. Sometimes the cell wall is either thick and sometimes the cell wall is thin. So such type of cells is known as a collenchyma. Collenchyma cell wall is made up of a substance known as heteropolysaccharide, which is known as pectin. Morphologically, it is a simple tissue because of having one type of cell. Chlorenchyma is a primary supporting tissues in stem, leaves, and floral parts of dicot, where in stem and leaves of monocot, chlorenchyma is a collenchyma is usually absent. Collenchyma is usually hypodermal in position. It is present just beneath the epidermis in the hypodermis region of the plants, in the leaves as well as in the stems. These are in this diagram you can see that this is the epidermis. Just below the epidermis hypodermis region is present in where collenchyma is present. The difference between parenchyma and collenchyma, that parenchyma their cell wall is thin, while in collenchyma the cell wall is either thin in some spaces, some area, in some area the cell wall is thick. So unevenly thickened cell wall is present. That's why it is different from the parenchyma. You can see that collenchyma is hypodermal in position and they are spatially present in the periphery of leaf blades as well as they are also present in the petiole of some plants. Three form of collenchyma is present when the collenchyma, the cell wall thickening is present in their tangential wall. They are known as lamellar collenchyma. This is known as lamellar collenchyma or platy collenchyma. When the deposition of pectin is present in the corner, then they are known as angular collenchyma. When the deposition or thickening of pectin is present toward or around the intercellular spaces, then it is known as tubular when they are present in the form of tubules, or they may be pointed, which is known as lacunar collenchyma. So these are four different types of collenchyma: lamellar collenchyma, angular collenchyma, annular collenchyma, and lacunar collenchyma. And the third most important type is sclerenchyma. As the name indicates, the sclerenchyma is derived from two Greek words scleron mean hot and chyma mean infusion. So sclerenchymas are those cells in which their cell wall is very thick, is very uniformly thick. So such cells is known as sclerenchyma. The thickness is due to the formation of secondary wall. At least initial the secondary wall is free from primary walls. At maturity, usually the cells are devoid of protoplasm, means they are dead one. They perform the chief function of supporting tissue, that they give support to the plants. They are of various shape and size. Even some of these are longest in plant kingdom. Commonly, sclerenchyma is divided into fibers and sclerites. Then what is fibers? So fibers are usually long, spindle-shaped structure with tapering. जिसको हम नोकीला कहते हैं. तो उसके cerebral कुछ नोकीले होते हैं. Are blunt end. Longest fiber is seen in Bohmeria nivea is the name of a plant in which the longest fiber is present, which is known as 55 centimeter. They are arranged in groups. Secondary thickening may account for 90% of the area of the cell. The lumen is narrow. So when the sclerenchyma become mature, the protoplast are the living matter. Protoplasm become exhausted, and the protoplast area is covered by the deposition of the cell wall. The fibers is again divided into two types. Xylary fibers are those fibers which is derived from the xylem, and extraxylary fibers are the fiber which is present outside the xylem bundles. So the fibers are classified according to their modes of origin. They can be classified into three groups. Surface fiber, as the name indicates, that they are found in the test of many seeds and covering of fruits and many plants like cotton. As you know, the textile industry is basically dependent upon the cotton plants, and cotton plants fibers is known as surface fiber. Coconut fibers is also known as surface fiber and Calotropis procera, जिसको हम आग कहते हैं, इसके fibers भी surface fibers हैं. Wood fibers, as the name indicates, that these are those fibers which is also known as xylem fiber, and they are present within the xylem bundle, and they are again of two types, labriforms and fiber trichids. The two differ from each other in their length, thickness, and wall and type of pit chambers. Bast fibers are phloem fiber. As the name indicates that these are those fibers which is present within the phloem. On account of their elasticity, fiber enable the plant body to withstand various strains. Plants yielding phloem fibers are Carchoris, Capsularis, Hibiscus cannabis, Tilia species, Nerium species, Vinca species, Crotalaria, Junkia. All of these plants, the bast fibers are phloem fiber is present, and these fibers are commercially used for manufacturing of cloth, cordage, and roofs. What is sclerites? Sclerites are not elongated cells. These are shorter than fiber, with thick cell wall and spherical, oval, or cylindrical shape. Sclerites occur singly or in groups with lignified walls and cell divide of living content. Sclerites are commonly found in fruit walls, seed coats, epidermal scales, and occasionally found in aquatics with mesophyll and petiola of submerged aquatics. When the sclerites they are present within the seed coat as well as in the fruit wall of some plants, they are known as stone cells. They can be obtained from the endocarp of almond and coconut and form the hard seed coat of some leguminous plants. As I have told that they are known as stone cells because they are very hard structure. The cell divide of living content and have tubular canals called simple pits. On the base substructure, there are many types of sclerites. Astrosclerites, as the name indicates, that they are star-shaped sclerite and present in leaves. Macrosclerite, large sclerite, yes, they are present in palisade cells in rod-like shape, found in seed coat. Osteosclerites, as the name indicates, bone-shaped or bone-like sclerites, and they are also present within the leaf. Brachysclerites are isodiametric like parenchyma, found in bark, pith as well as in cortex, and they are rounded or parenchymatics.